You don't need me to tell you what the show is. If you don't know anything about Hazbin Hotel at this point, that is entirely on you. But if there's something I do know that you don't know, it's that I might have the hottest take on the show that you've probably never heard on the internet before. Shut up, I don't represent the internet as a whole. I do not have strong feelings for Hazbin Hotel at all. I know, weird stance to take, right? You either love this show passionately or hate it vitriolically for no good reason. And trust me, I've seen both sides. I have picnics watching people fight to the death over this show, and this was back when we only had the pilot. But I guess we should start there. I saw the pilot when it first came out, just like the rest of the world did, and I don't know, I liked it enough. It was fine. And that's about it, really. It was fine to me. I didn't hate anything about it, but I wasn't over the moon about it either. But to be fair, that's the whole point of a pilot, right? To sell you on the idea and the characters within the show. And I guess it worked, considering it took off the way it did. And whether you love this show or hate it, you can't deny the massive impact that this show and VisiPop has had on animation in recent years. Still though, this was a major breakthrough. An independent animator going to YouTube of all places to pitch their show, and it worked? That's a big deal since YouTube is a free website where anyone can upload their content and let the world see it. And now, other people who want to get their animated ideas off the ground are doing the same thing, to great effect so it seems. But like I said, I've never had strong feelings on this quote-unquote franchise, this including Hell of a Boss and stuff. I've watched it and kept up with it, but it never wowed me or anything. I just thought it was overall okay. Never really cared enough about to make a full video about it or anything. So after a little over 4 long years of waiting, Hazbin Hotel is finally here. So, are my thoughts on this franchise any stronger than they were before? Honestly, no. Not really. I still think it's fine. I mean, there's good things about it, there's bad things about it. People on both sides have had plenty to talk about. All while that's going on, I was just sitting here, minding my own business and going, it's okay. I think the concept is really cool and creative and feels kind of like a Ren and Stimpy meets Steven Universe kind of thing. You got these big epic musical numbers, you got big name Broadway stars and actors, you got A24 backing you up. It really looks like they went all out on the show. I just wish they went all out on the writing. Sorry, I'll start with the good stuff first. This show was carried so hard by its animation and the music. Kind of like that Miraculous movie that came out last year on Netflix, these songs all, for the most part, slap. You can see where most of the effort and money probably went into, and it was getting these big name singers to sing these songs. People like Alex Brightman, Stephanie Beatrice, Daphne Rubin Vega. These are some truly talented singers, and they bring their A game for these songs. Respectless has such a great energy and flow to it that it solos literally every song from Wish. More Than Anything is beautifully sung and written. And guys, there's a reason why me and my friend Shay Nocturne had to cover Loser Baby ourselves. It is just such a catchy song. Like, damn it all, why couldn't Wish have music like this? For real, why couldn't it have music like the Miraculous movie did? That movie had an actual villain song that was good. And Hell is Forever could totally be this season's villain song. Sorry, I'm getting off topic, aren't I? That's for the next video. I think only 2 or 3 songs don't really do it for me. Happy Day in Hell is kinda your typical opener song that we've heard before. Stayed Gone is a thing. I don't know why it's a thing, but it's a thing. And well, as much as both Whatever It Takes and You Didn't Know are super popular, while they're really well-made songs, they kind of feel empty. And a lot of that has to do with the problems of the show, which I should get into now as it ties into the good stuff in a really weird way. This show has some of the worst pacing that I've seen in a show in a long time. I know this season only has 8 episodes, but I don't really think that's a good excuse. I don't know if it's because the show has gotten either too carried away with its own hype, or if it's just trying too hard to live up to its hype, but either way, this show in its first few episodes has way too much going on for its own good. Like, okay, the first 2 episodes are good. They start off with establishing the hotel and the characters well enough. We get to see Charlie's resolve to get the hotel off the ground. She meets Adam, who doesn't like the idea and is also a huge asshole. The hotel gets its first tenant with the snake guy and his egg buddies. It's a solid start. But then things start to get bogged down in episode 3, because then we're introduced to this random new character named Carmilla, who is an arms dealer, and apparently during the last extermination, she managed to kill an angel, which is a big deal apparently. Who is this bitch exactly? She doesn't have any connection to Charlie or Vaggie or anyone else. Sure, she knows Alistair, but it's not like they're friends as far as we know, they just work together. Like, seriously, who is this woman? Does she end up playing a big role in the finale? Turns out no, she doesn't. She just sells our main characters some weapons so they can fight heaven themselves. She does not take part at all. Sure, she shows Vaggie how to fight, but why not join the fight yourself? You said you were protecting your daughters, who we also don't know. Seriously, who the fuck are you? In this show, killing an angel is seen as a big deal because it's never happened before, and heaven is now pissed off that hell is able to fight back. And because of this angel's death, the next extermination has been moved up by 6 months. And yet the person who triggered this major plot beat is just some random woman who has little to nothing to do with the story and has zero connection with our main characters. That's weird. That's really bad writing. Couldn't Vaggie have been the one who killed the angel, especially since she's a fallen angel herself? That'd be way more impactful, not to mention thematically cohesive with her redemption arc of trying to move past her falling. Maybe she was just trying to protect Charlie or the hotel, like, who knows? And then there's episode 6. Oh, don't get me started. Again, I know that everyone loves the final song number in the episode you didn't know. And yeah, I'll admit it, it's a good song on its own. It's really clever how it picks up the same melody and structure from Hell is Forever as a counter to it. That's cool, but I'd probably be more inclined to like it if I knew just who the fuck Emily is. Or Sarah, for that matter. This show has a really bad habit of relying on quantity over quality. There's always some new character or element being introduced in every episode, and at such a breakneck pace too, and it just leaves the show with no time to develop any of it. Carmilla's love for her daughters, Sarah and Emily in heaven, it all just feels so vague and empty. Emily, outside of the music, has like maybe 4 or 5 lines of dialogue. I'm not even kidding. And I'm supposed to get invested when she learns about the extermination for the first time? How betrayed she feels by her mother? I don't know anything about their relationship. We literally just met them. Oh, you admired her? Well, I wish I could have seen that or something. Anything. It just makes the song, which on paper should have been an emotional powerhouse, just feel way weaker as a result because I have no connection with the people singing it. The show, in its current state, is pretty paper thin overall. None of the characters are bad, mind you, just not all that deep or well developed. And that's often because the pacing is so bad. I mean, look at what happens when Charlie finds out that Vaggie is an angel. Throughout episode 7, she's understandably upset, but by the end of the episode, they just make up, and that's about it, really. They don't have some heart-to-heart or anything. Charlie just forgives her, and that's the end of it. Yeah, I know Charlie has a talk with this other brand new character that was just introduced here, but I'm sorry, that's just not good enough for me. I'd rather the two characters who have a confirmed relationship have that heart-to-heart conversation instead of our main character just meeting some rando and having a talk with them. It just makes the reconciliation feel so rushed, like nothing ever even happened to begin with. This show just throws so much at you with little time to process or take it all in. The only relationship I fully take seriously is the one between Angel and Husk, and that's because it's the only one we actually see get developed. But all the other relationships in this show are so brisk and rushed that they sit between okay and practically non-existent. None of it is awful, but it leaves a lot to be desired. It almost feels like the season was trying too hard to simply justify its premise, which I guess isn't a bad thing, but I feel this time would have been spent much better diving into its characters and why they're at the hotel in the first place, instead of trying to build up this big scale plot with Heaven and Adam and the Overlords and all that. It's just too much. It's just way too much stuff for 8 episodes to cover. I honestly don't have a lot else to say other than that. I mean, the concept is cool, the characters are fine, the music and animation's great. I know people were laughing their asses off at that one shot where Vaggie just vanishes for a split second, but that's really the only major error that I noticed in the show. I also noticed the YouTuber-esque editing with the camera was pretty annoying at times, but it does become less of an issue as the show carries on, fortunately. Overall, I like the show. It's okay. It seems like with how this season ends, it can now focus less on these big major plot beats and focus more on the characters and their own individual struggles and relationships with each other. My only real advice for the show, slow down. You already have millions of people invested in your show. You don't need to just throw everything you have at us all at once. We're already here. We want to see how this goes. I just hope from here on out, they take their time with these building mysteries involving Alistair and Lilith. We get to see more of these characters that have been established rather than introducing more. Like I said earlier, the problem is quantity over quality. If they could just somehow find a way to combine the heavy plot of Hazbin Hotel with the characterization of Hell of a Boss, then I think we'd be golden. But as it is, it's just okay. I enjoyed it for what it is. I admire it for its accomplishments, but it definitely needs work if this hotel is going to keep its doors open.
That makes you unique. Get out of here, man. We're both losers, baby. We're losers. It's okay to be a
coked up, dick sucking hoe.
Maybe that's fine by me.
I'm a loser, honey, a schmoozer and a dummy, but at least I know I'm not
just like me. I got an appetite for gambling.
I got an appetite for sampling every drug and sex toy I can find.
Go ahead, baby, sing that song